Well, absolutely. Well, they're talking about, well, there's new pressure on Sunak as 1 in 5 are pulled into higher tax bands. And this is an interesting way of spinning the story, because what they're saying is that an estimated 2.5 million more taxpayers will be dragged into rates of 40% or 45% because of the combination of fast-growing wages and a freeze in the point at which workers start paying. Well, what's happening? The reality is we're paying people more, and therefore they're paying more taxes. The bands are exactly the same. At 12,570, you don't pay anything. For up to 50,270, you pay 20%. 150,000 up to there, you pay 40%, and over 150,000, you pay 45%. What they're saying with the increased demands and increased wages, people are being effectively paying more. So this is a negative story, but actually it could be a positive one. You could turn around and say, isn't it great we're paying people more money? But you have to pay more money in order to make sure that it's the cost of living.
They've got to readjust the tax bands, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not actually that long ago that they moved the 40% rate up from 30-odd to 50, but they've got to keep moving it every year.
They do, and I think the fact that we're paying people more to sort of keep pace with the cost of living. The UK is in a recession whilst we're going through a massive spike of inflation, and actually one does kind of get the sense that the government doesn't have a handle on it and that they're not quite sure how to get a handle on it.
Well, in fact, the story you've been looking at in the Telegraph shows that ministers are sort of turning around to the Bank of England and blaming them now.
Well, that's exactly the thing. I mean, we had the Queen's speech and there wasn't a great deal of red meat in there. Certainly not a lot of policy detail that made you think, oh, yes, these chaps, they have a handle on it. And now it does appear to be the case. Yesterday they were blaming civil servants and saying we're going to shed 90,000 civil servants' jobs and that'll save us money. Now they're turning around to the Bank of England and saying, oh, you're not doing enough. It does seem to be a sort of a culture in Westminster at the moment to say it is everybody else's fault but us. It's the war in Ukraine, it's COVID, it's this, that and the other. Ultimately, the Conservative Party has been in power for 10 odd years now, more than that. And, a lot of this stuff, that is happening, wars around the world, possible pandemic, people have been warning about pandemics for years, the state of the NHS, the state of our energy infrastructure. This is not new stuff. This is all stuff that has been warned about, and people have just put off doing it. And now the chicken's coming home to roost. The answer to all of this stuff is it's going to take long-term investment and long-term reform, but nobody wants to say that because it means admitting, short-term, we're in for a lot of pain.
Yeah.